CTV News at 6 with Joe Perkins.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. We are learning more tonight about a deadly fire that ripped through a Victoria home early yesterday morning, killing 3 people. 2 people were found dead in the home and nearly a dozen others were rushed to hospital. One of them died yesterday afternoon, bringing the death count to 3. All 3 were in their early 20s, 2 women and 1 man. Today, friends and family returned to the home to remember those who were lost. CTV's Jet Bassi has the latest.
You know what? We were in Florida. We got the call yesterday morning and we got here yesterday evening.
With her picture in their hands, the Claps mourned the loss of their Georgia.
She brought life to everybody that knew her. She brought life, she brought love of life. All the kids in that house were the same. So the world lost some real treasures this weekend.
Her friends remember her as a free spirit.
Georgia was a fearless warrior, a creative activist, a artist, a dancer.
She was really special in the sense that she had like that passion and that depth to create change in the world.
Georgia was studying at the University of Victoria. She was an inspiring artist. Friends say she was living in the rental home with a number of roommates. On Friday night, they hosted a get-together with friends.
No, they weren't heavy drinkers. It wasn't a wild party. It was just a bunch of kids that knew each other, really enjoyed each other's company, and they were dancing and singing and having fun. And there was an accident, and it just happened so fast.
Early Saturday morning, the Victoria Fire Department responded to a house fire on Johnson Street. The intense fire burned everything in its path. It gutted the home and destroyed the nearby vehicles.
I think that it's safe to say that the fire started on the porch. The cause of the fire is still under determination. It's under investigation.
2 victims were found upstairs and 1 near the front door.
2 women and 1 male, and were, as far as I know, occupants of the residence.
Firefighters are zeroing in on a couch on the porch. Earlier in the night, it caught on fire.
Once that thing got going, and seems to be like the perfect storm. Combustibles, you're in an enclosed porch. There was obviously a lot of heat in a short order of time.
The home is boarded up. A keep out sign is posted on the front door. Victoria Fire will begin their investigation on Tuesday. Names of the other victims have not been released. Jet Bassi, CTV News, Victoria.
On Facebook, a memorial page has been created. It's called Remembering Mark Mitchell and Emily Morin. On the page, friends and family, including Mark's mother, Jory, say Mark and Emily died Saturday morning in the fire, along with their roommate, Georgia. The Facebook page says service information will be made available soon. As messages of support begin to pour in from friends and family, firefighters are sending their own message. Firefighters say any fire, big or small, deserves a 911 call immediately. The Victoria Fire Department has seen it before. Homes lighting up instantly, trapping people inside and giving them no time to escape. At the scene of his daughter's death, Steve Clapp's first instinct is to reach out to other parents.
You know what? All I can say is that if any parents have their kids living in houses, make sure you have smoke detectors, especially old houses.
Victoria firefighters say the fire spread quickly from the main floor to the second floor, shooting up the stairwell.
It made chances of survival low.
In the summer of 2007, 2 University of Victoria students died after a fire ripped through another Victoria home.
We tried to put the fire out, but it wouldn't go out. It was just getting bigger.
The home in 2007 did not have smoke alarms.
If you can buy yourself time to get out, and that's really what a smoke detector is doing, is buying you time, it's a better chance that you're going to survive.
It's unclear if smoke detectors would have been enough to alert the victims and give them time to escape, but at least one father thinks it could have helped.
It's not fun to lose a child. That's all I really have to say. Yeah.
Investigators are looking at the possibility that a couch fire sparked Saturday's blaze and say there are unconfirmed reports that people inside the home thought they had the fire under control.
You think you got it, you don't have it, and it can get way out of hand on you.
By the time fire crews arrived Saturday morning, the house was fully engulfed. If it is determined there was a couch fire, firefighters say that's when they should have been called.
And that's what we're paid to do. That's what we're trained to do, is come and just determine that things are completely extinguished.
It just takes a phone call, a call that was made Saturday, well after the flames had spread. Too late for 3 people. A 35-unit apartment complex in Burnaby lit up in flames this morning. When fire crews arrived, several people were hanging out of 3rd and 4th floor windows. Everyone was evacuated, but some pets may not have made it out alive. No one was seriously injured, and the exact number of people affected has not been released. There was also a fire in Saanich just before midnight last night in a residential care home on Feltham Road. One person was inside and was treated for smoke inhalation. The cause of that fire is also under investigation. When fires unexpectedly break out like they have over the past 24 hours, firefighters need to be prepared. But training for the real thing is often difficult. Every time a firefighter runs into a raging inferno, there are risks and there are unknowns. Dangers that have Nanaimo firefighters practicing for the unexpected. CTV's Jet Bassi has that story.
This abandoned home on Northfield is smoking hot. Flames burn to the roof, dark smoke fills the air, and Nanaimo's brave charge in.
It's the real thing.
The fire was no accident. It was lit for a training exercise. The house was donated to Nanaimo Fire to be used as a training prop.
Practicing the different techniques of water compared to foam, so this gives us a real good feeling of attacking a fire with foam.
It's a real-life situation for the department, a real fire in a real structure. They bored the home to manipulate the fire to certain areas of the building.
We were trying to manipulate where the fires were so we could create the atmosphere inside the house that we wanted.
They light fires throughout the home to test their deployment strategies.
Working with a real structure like this, it gives us some unknowns. If we work in our training facility all the time, then there's knowns that we're aware of what's there. Here we have other flammables, other dangers that we're coming across.
Firefighters enter the home to battle the flames, but inside the inferno, they face many obstacles. The firefighters must make quick decisions to knock down the flames safely.
The actions of the smoke and the heat, the ventilation, watching the windows break down, seeing how quickly that it exposes the attic in the old material that's in this building is an absolute benefit, especially for our officers, so they can develop an action plan when the real thing comes along.
Firefighters couldn't salvage the home for another training session. It was too dry.
We're just going to let it burn to the ground now because when we let it free burn, it burns off a lot of the carbon and smoke, so we have a cleaner burning fire.
Bright orange flames engulfed the home in seconds. The free burn attracted a crowd. Many witnessed the flames dominate the home. Within minutes, it was burnt to a crisp.
This is serious business, and they can see the devastation fire can really create.
Nanaimo Fire Rescue's response time has improved over the years. Within 6 minutes of an alarm, a fire truck is on scene, but it's training sessions like this one that prepares them to battle flames quicker and safer. Jet Bassi, CTV News, Nanaimo.
Langford Fire Department spent its day searching on Mount Finlayson for an injured hiker. A 35-year-old man was hiking by himself on the mountain when he fell, fracturing his leg. Search crews responded and eventually found the man around 4 o'clock. He needed some medical attention. Emergency crews are reminding the public not to hike alone and to always have a working cell phone on hand for emergencies. Saanich police are investigating after more than a dozen parked cars were broken into between Friday night and Saturday morning. The break-ins all occurred in the Gordon Head area. Police are reminding drivers to lock their vehicles. Anyone with any information into the case is asked to call Saanich Police. Well, the Johnson Street Bridge closed this morning for repairs to the bridge's fender. The bridge was up from 5:30 this morning to around 11 o'clock while the repairs were made. Morning traffic was rerouted to the Bay Street Bridge. The navigational channel was also closed to marine traffic. Last year, the bridge's fender was struck by a barge passing beneath the bridge. When it did, it damaged the fender's wood pilings. This morning's repairs are unrelated to the construction of the new Johnson Street Bridge. The province's Jobs Minister, Pat Bell, says he will not be seeking re-election in the upcoming provincial election. In a statement today, the MLA for Prince George Mackenzie says he has a rare type of aneurysm. With the diagnosis, his health is his #1 priority, and as a result, he is withdrawing his nomination with the Liberals in the next election. Pat Bell has spent 12 years representing the city of Prince George. BC ferry passengers traveling from the Mid-Island to Horseshoe Bay ran into some delays today after a mother and daughter were separated. The mother and daughter were aboard the 8:30 sailing out of Horseshoe Bay. Before departure, the mother was contacted over the vessel's PA system to leave the ship to deal with a cooler she had checked. The mother left her 5-month-old with a friend, and when she got off the vessel left the berth. Once the captain heard what had happened, the ship returned to Horseshoe Bay, delaying the sailing by roughly an hour, as well as delaying future sailings. Well, the show that helps thousands of brides-to-be turn their dream weddings into reality returned to downtown Victoria. The Victoria Bridal Show took over the Crystal Garden today, bringing with it a very special bride-to-be. You may recall Bianca Camber from the premiere season of The Bachelor Canada, which was shot largely in Victoria. This is the first time Camber has put on a wedding dress since agreeing to marry Bachelor and former CFL player Brad Smith.
It's actually surreal. I mean, you never think that the entire show and that process would have happened, and now that I'm back here again, it's pretty awesome. I really wish Brad was here with me too. He would have enjoyed this.
Another special lady at the bridal show today, MC Astrid Braunschmidt. This is the bridal show's 16th year in Victoria. Welcome back to the show. A new brand of head shop is emerging in Greater Victoria, and it aims to smoke out the stigma around cannabis consumption. Pot is still against the law unless you have a prescription, but it's not illegal to buy the tools to smoke it. And as CTV's Aaron Glazier reports, advocates say those laws are behind the times.
People are trying to go more scientific with it.
There's a new type of head shop in Victoria, and business is booming.
People seem to like the selection in the store. They like the brands that we carry and all the wide varieties of brands that we carry. So things have been good. The thinner the tube, the smoother it'll be.
With its bright, clean environment, Jupiter on Johnson Street is trying to set a new standard for smoke shops, once considered dark and seedy.
Anyone can come in and feel welcome and feel comfortable in here, and that's really what we're trying to do, trying to change the image of the industry itself and the shops that involve the industry.
And they're not the only ones. Bong City at Quadra and Kings is also lighting up the local smoke scene.
Does it promote it? Maybe. I don't know. There's a big sign up that says Bong City. It's no secret what's inside. But it's not like they sell the drugs themselves, so.
I think people have become more comfortable with the idea of people being 420 friendly, I guess we could say. But there's also a huge market out there for them, so they're entrepreneurs in a sense, and they're doing what they need to do.
Cannabis advocates say it's a sign of changing times.
The fear of being associated with this plant is no longer there.
Smoking for medicinal purposes is legal in Canada if you have a prescription, but advocates say that's not enough. They want BC to follow in the footsteps of Washington State. 3, 2, 1! Which has voted to legalize and tax marijuana for recreational use.
Our federal government is quite out of step with the reality of the community, not just here in Canada, but in the United States, where it's becoming legal, and we're going to be following their lead over time.
The Vancouver Island Health Authority says whether it's legal or not, a health risk comes with getting high.
Carcinogenesis, the effects on the heart and vascular system and the respiratory system can all be similar with marijuana use, especially heavy marijuana use, as you would see with tobacco.
And unlike tobacco that can only be purchased by customers over the age of 19, there is no age restriction for marijuana-related products. This water pipe is considered an ornament and legal until an illegal substance is smoked within it. And when it comes to selling the piece, it is up to the store to use discretion.
Generally, 18 and up is is the general rule.
But Jupiter says not all stores are as concerned and advocates more regulations around selling pipes to minors, saying that should go hand in hand with legalizing what goes inside. Erin Glazier, CTV News, Victoria.
You even have your ash catchers, and you can make it a lot of fun, and it's always